new tornado warning, Culver, Argus to Etna Green and Bourbon. Get to your safe spot now.
We imagine that this will be an all-night ordeal, and ABC 57 News, we're going to be here in Bourbon throughout the morning, throughout the day. We're going to get a clearer look at this damage.
The recovery efforts already beginning to happen. Behind me, you might be able to hear the whirring of the chainsaws.
We're live in Bourbon tonight as we come on air as ABC 57 continuing coverage of an EF1 tornado that ripped across Marshall County starts right now.
Live across Michiana, this is ABC 57 News.
We begin tonight at 5 with the damage left behind in hard-hit Bourbon after a now confirmed EF1 tornado ripped through Marshall County. This is an aerial view of the destruction as residents there begin the process of picking up the pieces of what's left. Thank you for joining us on ABC 57 News at 5. I'm Brianna Clark. We're getting a better idea on the scope of the devastation in Marshall County tonight. Gosh, just take a look at that. After that destructive storm system swept through Michiana. You saw it all here live on ABC 57 last night. The National Weather Service now confirming at its peak, the tornado in Marshall County reached wind speeds of 105 miles an hour and lasted for nearly 20 minutes as it carved a path of destruction for nearly 18 miles, damaging roofs and uprooting trees. A central command center set up in the Bourbon Town Council chambers today to help coordinate the cleanup efforts and assess the damage.
People in the community rallied around and helped with this major weather event. There was no significant, that we're aware of at this time, injuries or fatalities within the town.
And that's some good news tonight. With cleanup just getting underway, residents in Bourbon have a long way to go before things are back to normal. We've got live ABC 57 weather team coverage for you once again tonight, but this time we're surveying the damage. ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs starts us off live outside Trenton High School. Tom, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, this is the hardest hit spot in Bourbon. Coming into town from the north along 331, you would know a tornado went through here. It wasn't a large tornado. Again, the width of it was only 175 yards. So again, it was not a huge tornado, but had a big impact on a select number of homes. I spoke with the homeowners who live here who were home at the time, the husband, wife, and 2 boys, and they were first outside looking around at some of the damage that there started to be debris being blown up, and the dad said, everyone get to the basement. Luckily, everyone in this house is okay, but a lot of damage and cleanup that's still going on here. In fact, they had to have the fire department cut out the garage door just to get their cars out. The cleanup continues. I also want to point out the athletic fields here. You can see a fire vehicle out there. It's actually a lot cleaner than it was roughly 15 minutes ago. Members of the sports teams at Trenton High School out there cleaning up. There was a lot of debris out there. But you can see back here, you can see the shed that is currently blown over. I also wanted to bring you back over here. This lawnmower wasn't parked here earlier. In fact, there's questions about how exactly it got here and where it came from. But again, a sign or showing you the amount of damage from a wind speed tornado up to 105 miles per hour, doing incredible damage to roofs, ripping apart roofs, and doing a lot of damage to this neighborhood precisely. We're at Rose Lane and Crocus Court, and this seems to be the epicenter or the hardest hit part where that tornado was at its strongest. In fact, just down the block here, we'll continue our team coverage tonight with ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Meteorologist Emmett Toomey for another look at this neighborhood and some of the damage. Emmett.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Well, I'm also live here at Rose Lane and Crocus Court. Now, the big thing we talk about as meteorologists, especially with tornadoes, is how random they can seem. And I want you to start by taking a look over my left shoulder. This house is completely untouched after that EF1 rolled through Bourbon, Indiana here just last night. Now, if you take a look over my right shoulder, that house is completely destroyed. Partial structural collapse. That's going to be the biggest thing we notice. Now, even now, that house is a much larger improvement now than it was earlier today. Let's take a look at that. The biggest thing we notice here, all of these people helping out, cleaning up that house. I mean, they say it takes a village, and it does in this case. Now, with those tornadoes, rotational winds, at one point, and really at its peak intensity, this tornado was reaching upwards of 175 yards in width. Now, was that here? Probably not, considering the fact that these houses are only 50 to 60 feet apart. One house is, again, completely unscathed. The other, the entire left side is missing, and you can see the wooden beams and the struts and that infrastructure just kind of bare, exposed to the world. Now, with those rotational winds, it wasn't just that. We saw plenty of damage all over Rose Lane. We saw wooden sticks that were shoved into the sides of houses almost like bullets. We saw shingles that almost looked like they were slicing into the sides of different houses, almost like playing cards. The velocity you need on those winds, yes, it is resonant with an EF1, but it is something that you just have to see with your own eyes to really believe. And these houses were pierced very easily. The sides of those houses gone in some cases, like with the house that we saw a little bit earlier. Now, here on Crocus Court, this is where the worst damage is, and you could see from that aerial shot some houses not wiped away, but even moved off of their foundation, and one side completely missing, like on the house on my right compared to the one on the left, which again is untouched. And that's exactly what we talk about with the risk of tornadoes. You just never know what you're going to get. Even if you have the perfect radar signature and the perfect track, one house could be completely unharmed, the other the exact opposite. Now, coming up in the next half hour of news, I am going to be talking a little bit more about these houses and kind of how Crocus Court and Rose Lane, the damage they've seen and how people are recovering. That is going to be here in the next half hour. Reporting live from Crocus Court, I'm meteorologist Emmett Toomey, ABC 57 News.
All right, thank you so much, Emmett. And neighbors are still helping neighbors all around this neighborhood. In fact, this seems like a small number of people compared to earlier, and we saw people just volunteering. We saw the Red Cross. We saw neighbors delivering snacks and water, doing anything they can help, literally walking into this neighborhood because it's kind of limited on how well you can actually get in here. But neighbors helping neighbors, and a lot of neighbors have been coming closer together in this town to help people recover from the damage. We continue with our team coverage tonight with ABC 57's Jackie Bauer, who's not far away from you, just less than a mile away over on Center Street near downtown. Jackie?
Yeah, Tom, you said it. Walking around and taking in all the damage today, you couldn't help but take in just how tight-knit this community is. And now surrounding communities are also coming in to help. A school bus of high schoolers from Tibby Valley High School out here cleaning up the park as they work to rebuild here in Bourbon. Neighbors helping neighbors after daylight revealed the damage along the path of destruction from last night's storms that left homes destroyed and many without power in just a matter of seconds. Some passing out cookies, others water and pizza, to crews getting right to work to restore the area. Well, the local high school served as a helpful hub, serving up a warm place to stay, to grab food and water, and even do laundry, while folks impacted figure out their next steps.
We've been through so many difficult times, but our community time after time after time responds and answers the call. So we're so blessed. I don't know if you were out on the scene, but in the end, just an amazing turnout of individuals that just simply say, I want to help, I want to be there, I want to give a hug, I want to encourage, I want to clean up. So our community is amazing when it comes to that.
For anyone still looking to lend a helping hand, the high school is accepting donations, and they will be open for class tomorrow, but with a 2-hour delay. Reporting live here in Bourbon tonight, I'm Jackie Bauer, ABC 57 News.
Just stunning damage, and we were on the air as that circulation started to develop and as that tornado was ripping through Marshall County. You could see some of these storm reports from this, and of course we talked about the path length of 18 miles was on the ground for nearly 20 minutes. The same tornado in this area, Michiana. It's pretty rare to get a tornado to stay on the ground for that long, at least in recent history. But why the damage was so isolated has to do with the path width, only 175 yards. I know that might sound like a big tornado, but compared to the one that hit the Donaldson area on the other side of Marshall County, that tornado, even though it was the same rating of EF1, was about 4.5 times wider compared to the one that hit the Bourbon area, also started in the Argus area earlier in the evening. And it's not just Michiana. Take a look at the vast number of storm reports. This is just over the past 36 hours. At one point, from 8 a.m. yesterday to 8 a.m. today, there were 728 severe thunderstorm warnings and or tornado warnings issued across the country. A massive outbreak of severe weather. And finally, we are done with the severe weather locally. But a couple of raindrops trying to make their way into Michiana. I think the dry air that's over us right now is going to keep that rain out of here and just to our south across portions of Indianapolis with some thunderstorms down there. But severe weather should stay far away from us tonight, and tomorrow severe weather should stay to our south as well. The wind was a little bit gusty at points today. That is starting to calm down, and temperatures will be falling through the 40s into the rest of this evening with cloudy skies, mostly cloudy, a little bit chilly to start Friday. We start off Friday dry, then we get more rain, and we could be talking about some heavy rain Friday night into Saturday. We'll talk more about that in the forecast in just a few minutes.